with the mood where Akpabio did yesterday, if for knock Dave Umahi waiting no good. But all of us know say our road in a comatose state. Dave Umahi call when he just call and say Vora, he want to concrete road, he want to do this, he want to till now. No be small thing yesterday. Yesterday I go National Assembly. After the past Senate chamber, now they hear noise for inside the chambers. Now say which of my boys dey quarrel for there? Now I say make I enter. As I enter inside, now I see say na Akpabio and Dave Umahi, the Minister of Work, and the quarrel. My guy, no be, they won't fight too. As I read them now, I calm them down. I say what they sup. Now Akpabio they tell me say Dave Umahi dey lie for their head. Say no enough money to work on our road for the country. Now make our roads dey spoil here. Now Dave Umahi dey wan clean right now. Tell before I told her what really happened, when I watch the what play out.
Before I throw my two questions, I want to share with you what I saw yesterday in the social media, where a pregnant woman passing through this road had to forcefully put to bed as a result of the ugly nature of this road. You may not be aware of this, but after here, I'm going to share with you the video. It is terrible. And as leaders, we are concerned as a parliament. Something has to be done about it immediately. And I believe that could have given rise to this meeting. I want to know in all, how many kilometers is your contract covering? How many kilometers have you achieved as of today? And what plans, when do you intend to complete this road? Number 3, from all your submissions, you've made us to understand that what is delaying the performance of this contract is non-payment of compensation to the property owners within the corridors of this road. I want to know, in the course of awarding this contract, whether all these things were not captured. Because to me, this is a flimsy excuse. So I need your explanation on these 3 points. 1, how many kilometers you have achieved, your plans to complete the rest, and this non-compensation of a thing. Thank you.
Mileage that I have covered. On flexible pavement, which is asphalt, 28.3. I have covered, on flexible pavement, I have covered 11.8 kilo. Yes, sir. On rigid pavement, we are approaching 4 kilometers on one lane, 4 kilometers on rigid pavement, which is concrete. On one lane? On one lane, yes. Because it's a dual carriageway. 11.8 is on 2 lanes. Dual carriage, yes, sir. And then there are 4 bridges. We've completed 3 bridges. The 3rd bridge, all the beams are on site. We are waiting to launch the beams in January when the grounds are drier. Because
3 bridges out of 4 bridges?
Out of 4 bridges, yes. This contract has a duration of 5 years. It was awarded in 2021, November. So I'm still well within the limits and the parameters of the tenable contract. And I intend to complete that contract if all the issues are tackled on or before that date. I'm committed to it. As regards compensation, the compensation issue was enshrined in the contract ab initio because in the last regime, the Federal Executive Council signed a paper, signed a position in that contract or in the Federal Executive Council meeting that the state governments are supposed to take care of compensation. That was from 2021 to date. that was what was specified in the Federal Executive Council. So when the two honorable ministers wrote to the governors, they cited and attached the Federal Executive Council memos that spelled out the details of compensation. I must also point out that the people that got the contracts before me, the Federal Ministry of Works was supposed to pay compensation. The people that got the contracts in 2018, the Federal Ministry of Works was supposed to pay the compensation. But from 2021, it shifted to the state government.
Was it part of the contract terms and conditions?
It was part of the contract terms.
Can we look at it? Which page is that? Is it part of your submission?
No, I have the letters. I have the letters the governors wrote. The ministers wrote to the governors.
Mr. Chairman, I think you are flowing on, sir. I want to know the section of that terms and conditions government. Can we look at it?
It's part of the submission of the Federal Ministry of Works, sir.
From the Federal Ministry.
I don't know if the MD had actually answered a question, which was this. Are you having any issues in terms of funding? You mentioned that there was some of your documentation that were outstanding, but that has not stopped you from continuing the work on site. Let me ask you the last question during my earlier submission. What is your proposed time of delivery for your section of the road?
Distinguished Senator.
The government of Cross River State has made payment recently, I think some weeks ago or maybe a few months ago, for compensation. So is this stretch in Akwa Ibom State or in Cross River State? Which state are you referring to, please?
In both states, paid 3 weeks ago. And we have since been writing to the government of Cross River State to give us the go-ahead to demolish those places. I can't demolish it myself. It's the government that has to demolish it. We have written to the Federal Ministry of Works and the Federal Ministry of Lands several times. I have copies of those letters back to back. We have even gone ahead and paid money to the police commissioner and to all the other ancillary security apparatus to see whether we can expedite the action of them coming to break those areas. But I need to also point out, distinguished Senator, that when the enumeration was done, we were not brought into the picture. So some critical structures are still on the alignment, and they were not marked for demolition.
Aspects, can you say within a certain amount of confidence that the project will be finished in 2026?
Ngibwe, I am poised to complete that contract in 2026, my own section. I am also being asked to intervene seriously in the Julius Berger aspects that has caused all the mayhem in the last few weeks. And we've already started work, and I know that I can deliver that one by the end of this dry season. Thank you very much.
Colleagues, our guest contractor.
Yes, sir.
I listened to you, and it's obvious that you are having frustration over the issue of compensation. And it's only if the site is given to you that you'll be able to fast-track the execution of the job. Since some places you bypass and continue until you get possession of the site. All these things will slow down your activities and eat up your time in the construction. You've also said now you are intervening in the Julius Berger section on the directive or instruction of the Honorable Minister for Works, how are you going to ensure that these things will not frustrate your time of completion of this job? Because your time is fast running. From October, we are in from 2021, we are now in 2024. You are just having a window of about less than 2 years to deliver this job, and you are at 51% completion on your own section. How does the financing by the Federal Ministry of Work respond to your own projections? Are you receiving money as at when due, so that we know the issues we are confronting over this road? This is a road that must be finished within the projected time because of its importance and active use by haulage people and commuters. Thank you.
Thank you, Works. I think they're in a position to tell you what the position of Julius Berger is now, but I asked the same question when I was asked to intervene, and I was told that their contract had been terminated for obvious reasons.
Just as a follow-up to what you were talking about with regards to the concrete section and the flexible pavement, in your opinion as a contractor, because this came up during our deliberations on the floor of the Senate, that contract was awarded as flexible pavement. Midway into your execution, it was reviewed and you were asked to use the fixed pavement. How has that affected your pace of work and, in your own experience, the ability to deliver that job?
Distinguished Senator, the contract was awarded on flexible pavement, but the client has the prerogative to change, it is part of the contract agreement, to change the scope or the specifications midway, depending on reasons best known to them. And the Federal Ministry of Works can confirm that. Yes.
That's okay. You may sit.
Oh.
You may just sit.
Can I go and sit down? Back there.
His Excellency.
The chairman of the Senate Committee on Works, distinguished Senator Barry Biggie, very distinguished senators who are chairmen of other various committees, the contractors from Samatech, JB, as well as ECC Construction Company. Are they on the road too?
They're on the road. Distinguished President. JB is not on the road for now. CCC is on the road. Sematech has always been on the road.
Thank you. So let me commend the Senate Committee on Works and commend the stakeholders, particularly distinguished Senator Itaina and members of the press for this initiative. I heard about the investigative hearing because I was notified. I'm not obligated to be here because the report will be sent to me eventually. But I said, let me come in to make an appeal. It happens to be an area that I'm very familiar with. The road was first constructed by the then administration of Brigadier General Eswene way back in 1975. It was handled by the company called Fujiro. And by the fires I saw when I was governor, they were supposed to do an overlay of the road after 7 years. That is by way of maintenance plan. But Nigeria being what it is, there was no overlay after 7 years. And I'm talking about 50 years after. Almost, about 49 good years after. So the road also happens to be a major artery. So putting it this way, Odukbani to Federal Highway is misleading. It's misleading. It's actually Odukbani to Port Harcourt, Aba, Bayelsa, Benin, Federal Highway. Because in one of the local governments in Cross River State, from Odukbani down to where they call Akampa, that is where they get the aggregates for road construction for the entirety of the South-South and the Southeast, even Umahi. So because of that, granite, gravel, what do you call it? Many of the quarries operating in that area, you have, let me use the correct word, thousands of trucks on a weekly basis passing through that road. So the wear and tear on the road is much. And if it is not well constructed, it cannot last. But in the last 10 years, it has been impossible for people to access Calabar. Calabar is a small, ought to be a small island as far as the Akwa Ibom side is concerned. It is only this road that links Akwa Ibom and Cross River, that links Port Harcourt and Cross River, that links Umahi, Aba, Bayelsa, and Cross River. Outside that, the only other avenue of movement is through the water. And that is when you travel to where they call Oron, in one of the local governments there, then you use flying boats. And flying boats cannot carry the construction aggregates, granite, gravel, stone base, and all those things that you get from Akampa. So it is a road that affects the built industry in the entirety of southeast Nigeria, both south and southeast. And so when the road is in deplorable condition, any truck that manages to pass through will have to charge double. Because for the drivers to get across, they sleep on that road for at least 1 week. Some few weeks ago, my wife had the unfortunate luck of finishing a program in Calabar and attempting to use that road to get to you. And she was there for 8.5 hours. And in reality, that road ought to be 45 minutes from Calabar to Uyo, highest 1 hour. We used to apply it for 1 hour when it was constructed. And some drivers used to do it for 45 minutes. In fact, if you enter the motor park there, they will say Calabar by air. Calabar by air were the brand new 504 SR vehicles, air conditioned, that will just take, and by the time they fly you, you either end up in the mortuary or if you are lucky, you end up in Calabar, and they say Calabar by air. So I had the opportunity of almost entering one of them. So when I went towards the vehicle, they said the vehicle was full. I was begging that I needed to be in Calabar, so I needed to take Calabar by air. Then they persuaded me to enter the second vehicle, which was not so strong. So grudgingly, I agreed. I entered the second vehicle. So when we got to Kwiboko, where the paper mill is located. No, there was no power plant then. Even though within the Kwiboko, they had their own independent power plants. So when we got there, I saw that one I was supposed to enter in the bush. With everybody on the floor. Some thrown aside and everybody died. I saw it with my eyes, so that was when I knew that God kept me so that I'll be able to address you today. So, Calabar by air was not very good. But then, the road served its purpose. Even to go to Bende, where the distinguished Senator Ojus Okalo comes from. Because the road is bad. That is the road that we take to go there. So it's a road that you go with tears. Very recently, our minority leader was with us in Calabar, Abamoro, when I went to reconnect with my law school mates of 1987. So we went to do Thanksgiving service, and graciously many senators followed me. So he left me and said, let him rush to Uyo to take Ibom Air, because he had another function in Lagos. It was a mistake. 9 hours after, he was still on that road, sweating inside the vehicle. 9 hours. So when the minister says, oh, Samatek is doing very well, the road is doing very well, when he's commending the contractor, and we are on the road for 9 hours, we used to wonder, what is the minister talking about? Until we discovered that the last administration segmented the contracts, and for 100 kilometers of road, they gave 3 different contractors, which simply means that they had no intention of finishing the road, because any contractor that defaults, a chain is as strong as the weakest link. Unless they all work with one mind, there is no way Samatek can do well. If JP is not doing well, the road is not done. And even the section of Samatek will eventually collapse again. So that is why we are here. 2 days ago, the deputy majority whip of the Senate, distinguished Senator Nwebwe, I hope he's here, he had to go and see the minister, and he showed him the video of a woman who remained on that road for 11 hours, and then eventually she delivered a child inside the car. You showed it to him? You mentioned it? So she went into forced labor, 8 months, and she was forced to deliver a child inside the car there. So if we are meeting over the road, please do not say, oh, it's because it's Senate President's road or area. No, it's not. It's a major Nigerian road that has so far led to the death of too many people. And it would have been nice for us to go with the contractors to stay for 7, 8, 9 hours on the road. We moved from Calabar and stay. while I was in Calabar, because we came in by air, some people who wanted to join us in the celebration entered a speedboat. The speedboat capsized on the way, and about 6 of them died. Unfortunately, one of my classmates, we had lost 14 classmates, so right there in Calabar, the 15th one died. I landed at Oyo and attempted to take a boat to come and join us in Calabar, and the boat sank, and he died, so the message came to us. So please take this investigative hearing seriously. For me, I believe strongly that the Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration is a corrective administration. The renewed hope agenda is that in the emergence of the current president, we all had hope that the Minister of Works would do things differently. We thought the Minister of Works would do things differently. It is the hope of the Senate and the National Assembly that the Minister of Works will do things differently. And please also know that any good road in any location in Nigeria is a road for all. You may not know where your relation will go to Karo Namoda, am I right? To go and get married, and then you attempt to go there. If the road is bad, criminals can come after you and get you on that road, and you could lose your life for nothing because a road in an area that does not belong to you was bad, and you did not think it was necessary to fix it. So if I see development in Kebbi, or I see development in Port Harcourt, development anywhere is development for all. Development anywhere is development for all. The pains are too much. I understand you are the only committed contractor on that road, Samatech. That's what I was told by the committee. I don't know whether it's because you're indigenous. Some of the rest do not give a damn about human health.
Your Excellency, I've always been in Calabar since the 70s. I always used to go to Calabar, and I have very strong roots in Calabar, in Cross River State. So I know that area very, very well. And apart from that, I think I take whatever work that is given to me very seriously.
You are also aware that even the condition of the road affects the cost of building materials across the south-south and the southeast. Yes, sir. Because of how bad the road is.
Yes, Mr. President. I also own quarries in that section, and I know how that road, I know how the road has affected bringing quarry material to the locations that I work. Some of my trucks spend up to 6 to 7 days in a particular section.
On that road?
Yes, sir. And because I'm in the middle. Where I'm constructing is in the middle of the two. So I have to, so sometimes I'm forced to go and do palliative work in one section to let my trucks pass. So I know exactly what the situation is.
So sometimes you are forced to go and intervene.
Yes.
In a section that
has nothing to do with me.
And then you spend your money.
Yes, I
have to be able to get your truck to pass.
To get my trucks to pass, or sometimes to even get my equipment. There are certain equipment. When I was bringing my piling rig spent almost 2 weeks at the Calabar end.
2 weeks?
2 weeks, yeah. It's a very big machine, and it was on a very big low bed. So I had to work there consistently for about almost 14 days before the equipment passed.
Yeah, I don't need to say more. I can only appeal and pray that this investigative hearing will yield results, and that all of us seated here will, you don't need to see it. I don't pray that you experience it, but I want you to contextual what is going on there. Luckily this woman did not die. the woman that delivered the child on the road. The child is safe, the baby is safe. Even to take what they call Okada to evacuate the woman was difficult, because somebody has to put her, and then they have to push her through mud with the baby.
Where this incident happened is probably the section that has been abandoned by... yes, sir.
Okay. So I want to wish you, and thereafter, collective oversight function on the road, and pray to God that through the current administration, the plight of the people of the South, South, and Southeast through that terrible road will be brought to an end. Amen. Thank you for the opportunity given to me to lend my voice.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Before you leave, there's a motion.
Now, me say this people, Adibi I no did here when I mediate between them. Make sure say that they calm so that nobody go throw punch. Therefore fight. In fact, with the mood where Akpabio did yesterday, if for knock the Umahi waiting no good. But all of us know say our road dey in a comatose state. Dave Umahi call when he just call and say Evora, he want to concrete road, he want to do this, he want to... till now we never feel the impact. Nothing when they do. Just they go blow grammar up and down. They insult people when they oppress people, when they oppress, collect their land, say they don't want to do coastal highway. They insult them anyhow. They embarrass journalists anyhow. Dave Umahi don't do too much. As I hold them later, I can't even regret say why I go hold Akpabio yourself. If I allow Akpabio beat Dave Umahi, knock and waiting no good. So that he brain go reset. You understand?